Hey everybody, back here on the channel after a long process of getting my college degree. I'm back in full force. I'll be posting some videos as I can, but here is the latest one. I ended up removing the engine, the supercharger, transmission, you name it. The big decision to shave and tuck. So here, this was last year, I removed the engine, took the supercharger out. I don't think I'll pursue that. I think I'll store it for later. But for now, drain fluids, you name it, get it all put to the side. Ended up deciding to remove the dash as well to give access to wiring, the HVAC, such as AC, get all that removed as well. It's a pretty big job right there. Definitely utilize your camera pictures for future use. Moving on to that, I put the engine on a PLM engine stand. Here's kind of what it looks like after that process. To begin the shaving process, I went after these strut tower brackets. Pretty simple, utilizing a spot weld remover tool. Kind of helps out. You can also use drill bits, a little more aggressive. In this video section here is some of the welding already done, some stitch welding. Ended up using some 14 gauge steel to plug access holes to multiple areas where it was needed. In other areas, just kind of build up the weld around the strut tower. The first thing foremost is the seam weld that is all over these seams. Looks great when it's a brand new car, but since we're going for that shaved look, yeah, radiator support as well. Any holes that are not needed will be plugged, sealed. Yeah. Of course, I'm not the greatest welder, so a lot of pinholes I had to fix. All across that radiator support. Let's see. Next, moving on, would be the brackets on the radiator support. Get to that here in a second. Using 14 gauge steel, which was something that was locally supplied. I could get that relatively easily. So it's a little bit thicker than the sheet metal here on the vehicle on the outer edges of the unibody. Just make sure that you're marking the welds you don't, or the areas. You can see there I'm using blue tape and the areas where I'm not going to be welding. So here's that radiator support little bracket, kind of an interesting bracket, does not look smooth whatsoever. Decided to go with a removal of that using the remover of spot welds and went with a smoother look, as you can tell, almost not noticeable from that angle. Drop the K-member to the side using some available products, skateboard and whatnot. To get access to the window cowl area, clean that up as well. So a shot as I start getting those holes. These are the holes for the air filter, just general items that you may consider plugging. I'll be utilizing some aftermarket products later on. So this is that bracket removed, and here is an 1/8 inch bracket I just cut, and I'll be welding that into place. Utilize the Everlast welder I bought, MIG welder. Also does flex, but I decided to go with MIG for cleaner welds. So that to me looks tenfold better, just barely noticeable at all. Plus with the shaving down and utilizing some body filler, this bracket area will look 10 times better. For those out there with Civics, I'm not sure if you have that stuff on your radiator support to the framing area, but that looks so much better in my opinion. Already started over on the other side as well, and here is another look after utilizing some grinding tools such as a pencil grinder. I got a little 1 inch Belt grinder, that really helped out, kind of clear up these areas. We'll be doing some stitch welding on the main seams to reinforce for flexing. That'll definitely help out. Just don't forget to remove as much seam seam sealer as possible. You don't want to be burning that stuff. It's pretty nasty. Yeah, just an overall look. This is after installing those brackets and plugging pretty much most of the holes from HVAC to cruise control to the wiper motor wiring, which I'll be tucking that. Any hole that I created or made or that had a stud sticking out, I just chopped those out, welded it down. Ground it down, welded it if needed. So that's pretty much a kind of a finished product there for the welding process. Moving on, I'll be sanding it down with 80 grit and 120 if needed. So here you can see some of the low areas, high areas. This is a 120 and an 80 grit sanding job in preparation for some Evercoat body filler. I'll be utilizing that in the seamed areas where I did my stitch welding and around those welds for the plugging purposes to kind of smooth that out and reinforce it. It is water proof once cured, and it'll help give some rigidity and structure to those welded areas. Here's that first coat. Pretty good stuff. It does harden pretty quickly, so make sure you're using the appropriate hardener. Give yourself time to work with it. This is just the first coat. I'm going to sand this down, get this nice and smooth for the next. Eventually end up going with Evercoat, their lightweight filler, to finish it up. But this is what it looks like right now. Get this sanded down and smoothed out, and I'll be ready for the next coat. Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask down below. Don't forget this sanding is lengthy and takes a lot of time, so I'll try to post when I can. I appreciate you guys, and this is what it looks like. And best of luck. Enjoy.
Give you my heart.